組は日本最大級の建築家ネットワークアーキテクツスタジオジャパンの提供でお送りします。
Casa Bella è una rivista che ormai ha 100 anni di vita. Sulle pagine di questa rivista è passata la storia dell'architettura del Novecento. Il nostro augurio, la nostra speranza, il nostro impegno è che Casa Bella anche nel prossimo secolo continui a documentare ciò che l'architettura internazionale verrà producendo e offrendo. Lo faremo con la massima serietà, perché la serietà è ciò che merita questa antica e nobile professione che gli architetti praticano.
Casa Bella, Japan.国内外のデザイナーやアーティストが創造する空間美学。人々の輝ける暮らしを求め、創造という終わりなき道をひたすら走り続ける。建築家とは創造のアスリートなのかもしれない。今回のフォーカスアスリートはスペシャルプレゼンテーションとして海外の建築家たち自らさまざまな建築観を披露していただきます。今回も前回から引き続きアメリカを代表する建築家フランク・ゲーリー氏が登場。彼の作品は常に既成概念を吹き飛ばす独創的なデザイン、直線と曲線の融合、さまざまな素材の組み合わせなどに特徴があり、それはさながら彫刻のような趣を醸し出す。伝統に縛られないその精神は建築家にして芸術家と言っても過言ではない。さて今回はいよいよ代表作ディズニーコンサートホールの設計エピソードに迫りたい。当時名もなき建築家だった彼がいかにしてその設計を獲得したのか。そこにはクリエイターだから分かり合える資質や感性、デザインの価値が全てを超越するといったゲイリー氏ならではのエピソードがあった。
I did work on the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic, and I spent a lot of time with them, and I knew a lot of the musicians. And so they asked me to be a contestant for the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Even though the Disney family at the time only knew my work with plywood and stuff, and they said, no, they didn't want me. They actually picked my design without knowing it was me. So that turned out good. We were started Disney Hall before Bilbao, but then it was poorly managed in the first go-around by the managers who they hired. And it stopped for two or 3 years. It wasn't my fault. Everybody thought it was my fault, but then they hired people to analyze it who said it wasn't. So I was clean. The Bilbao was built at the same time, and everybody loved that. So they realized I could do it. So that was a turning point. The Disney family, because of their father, because of Walt, they experienced the kind of world that he lived in, trying to make movies. The studios gave him a hard time. So while I was working on Disney, I was getting a hard time. And the Disney family rescued me. It was strange because I didn't know them. They didn't like me at the beginning, but then they saw this, what was happening with boards and stuff, and they came to my rescue. And it's because of Diane Disney, the daughter, that the building, my work was preserved and retained.
ここからはディズニーコンサートホールのデザインを堪能していただこう。
I was fortunate after Disney Hall, Japanese consul to LA had a dinner for me with Yasu Toyota, the acoustician for Disney Hall. He asked me if I would like anything from Japan, and I said yes, bring me the Gagaku Orchestra. But I knew that their imperial court musicians can't travel. But 6 months later, he said, okay, I got it, we're coming. So they came. And they played a contemporary piece by Takemitsu too, it was such a beautiful concert. I mean, I was in heaven. And if you look at Disney Hall now, interior, the organ with these sticks, I mean, they weren't Issei Shrine, but they had a sort of a resonance, right? And when the Gagaku Orchestra was sitting on the stage, I thought I was in Japan. When I started in second year and third year architecture at USC, the teachers who came there were returning GIs who'd been to Japan and who had seen the temples at Nara and Kyoto and were very inspired by those buildings because the language was easily assimilated in LA because we had the weather you could build, and we built with sticks and 2x4s and things. And so there was a similar aesthetic, although not as refined, but the Japanese language was very refined architecture and very beautiful and very inspirational. I read Japanese literature. I listened to music. I got very involved with Gagaku. And there was a Gagaku orchestra at UCLA. And I joined the orchestra. And I learned to do the breathe. So during that period, I think we were all very inspired by Japan. In fact, if you look at the first works I did when I graduated, you would think I was a Japanese architect.
日本の気候に似たロサンゼルスだからこそ、ディズニーコンサートホールに日本のスタイルを用いた。それはまさにゲイリー氏の日本建築への憧れでもある。そしてこの作品がきっかけとなって日本とのつながりをさらに深めていった。
Since maybe it hasn't been as clearly stated that I do feel a very close relationship with Japan. I did do an exhibit at LA County Museum of Japanese art treasures in the 70s, I think. I think over the years, Futagawa has been a very big supporter of my early work and photographed it. I got to meet Issei Miyake, who I love very much as a friend. And I designed his store and as a gift to him in Hudson Street in New York. In 1989, I got the Pritzker Prize at Toraiji. Kenzo Tange did not like my work when I got the Pritzker Prize, so he had a separate press conference, which was a little bit insulting, actually, but slowly after that, he became more interested in me. And he actually invited me to dinner. When I got the Premium Imperial, he was very friendly to me. He was very nice. I came home one day, and Isamu Noguchi was sitting in my living room. And my wife told me that he'd been there for 4 hours, and he sat in the room, and he was just like this. And this is the first time I met him, and I came in, and he shook my hand and he said, Mr. Gehry, I hate to inform you, but I think you're a sculptor.
ここからはゲイリー氏の作品に対する強い思いを感じるエピソードをご紹介。
I think that I have a lot of unbuilt buildings that I wish were built. Like the Corcoran Museum in Washington, which I thought was pretty good. And I'm sorry it didn't happen. In the case of Abu Dhabi, the building has a political connotation. I mean, the idea was to create a a museum that focused on globalization. And if you think about the world now, there's so much misunderstanding in the world that art becomes a catalyst to community and artist understanding at a very high level. And so I went to meetings on the Abu project with curators from Israel, meeting with curators from Lebanon, Syria. Of course, there's intelligent people in all these countries, and they are interested in the arts, and they live for them, and so on. They didn't like each other, but when they focused on art, they were friends.
さらにゲイリー氏が今やってみたいプロジェクトがあるという。
I always seem to be working on another house for myself, and I haven't been able to build it. It's really hard to design for yourself, but this time I'm determined to build it. And it's just starting, and I'm using a lot of wood, so, and you will see some Japanese influence, I think, because that's what I love. I always wanted to build in Japan. All these misunderstandings happen. I'm sorry that I've never gotten to really do a real building in Japan. I would love to. If anybody wants me, I'm ready.
今回のフォーカスアスリートスペシャルプレゼンテーションはここまで。次回はフランク・ゲイリー特集の最終話。常に挑戦的であるという揺るぎない信念を形にしてきた建築家としての誇り、そして独特なデザインを生み出すその感性に迫ります。ご期待ください。